You can't field a competitive team, and you cannot have Lamar Jackson progress because this also adds to why I'm not a big Greg Roman fan too. If you're going to have his best receiver, other than Mark Andrews, which is a tight end,
Mm-hmm.
be Hollywood, no, sorry, Marquise Hollywood Brown, basically a scat back or a scat receiver or a slot receiver, like a Julian Edelman type,
Yep.
who was asked to be the number one receiver on the team. You're not going to go far. You're not going to go far.
They're
And
really not.
I think I think what has, to me, if I have to picture the right game as to where I believe the team is headed at the moment, it's the game they played in Cincinnati, where it was as if Bengals, they couldn't manage drives
Right.
against them.
Right.
It was as if anything they tried and everything they tried, it just wasn't going to manifest. And to me, that is how the team has looked since they went to Heinz Field. They have looked as though they 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 have lost their identity. To the
Mm-hmm.
point where Bart Scott was on air at our wonderful four-letter network,
Of course.
basically saying that the Bengals piling up the points and they were pouring it on,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying, basically, if going forward for the next 10 years for Burrow, every time the Ravens should see him, it should be on site. We bury him.
Yeah.
And he said there's this code red that, and the Ravens know what I'm talking about when I say it, that they must employ when it comes to the Ravens, when it comes to the Beagles, because they just simply cannot do that against this team. The problem I have with that, not necessarily what Bart said. I really don't have much of a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have with that is you're talking to a team that does not have a dog in the fight, like when you were on those teams,
Mm-hmm.
because you had an Ed Reed, you had a Ray Lewis,
Mm-hmm.
you had a Sam Adams, you had a Tony Siragusa, you had guys who who actually would challenge one another and say, these
You
MFers ain't gonna do jack.
you
You don't
had a
have that in this
You had a
system.
Kim Herring. You had a Rod Woodson. You had
Yes,
Dwayne Starks. Okay, there's
yes,
an underrated
you
quarterback for you.
yes, you
You
had
and
you had absolute studs on that side of the ball where basically they were they took to Baltimore's M&T Bank Stadium as if they were like the offense.
mm-hmm.
It's if they were the rock stars and the offense were basically the roadies.
Yeah,
Because normally it's the opposite in terms of perception.
it is. It is. It
Bart
is. It is.
Bart was playing in those with those types of teams with those types of players who like, okay, well, if they score seven, I'm gonna get on all y'all behinds.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the mentality this Ravens team has. Now, I'm not saying the Ravens defense sucks.
Right.
I'm just saying that they sometimes do not come to play, but they they're not the elite force that they should be because they have proven uh, this year's slate that they don't have the horses, and that is what you're seeing, and that is why you're salty in the mouth because you're seeing a Ravens team that does not play like themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they offensively definitely don't play themselves because they throw too much.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. And the person that I keep blaming for Baltimore's offensive woes, and yes, I'm saying it, offensive woes, is Greg Roman. He did the same thing. He did the exact same thing to one Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco. Many people don't remember who was Kaepernick's offensive coordinator for 4 years and why he regressed as bad as he did. But Greg Roman is is to blame big time for this. Speaking of blame, there's plenty of it to go around in Carolina. And Jay Spivey will help us break that down as well as week 18. What's up, Jay? Thanks for coming on.
Welcome to the frozen tundra of Winston-Salem, boys. Greetings.
Yes, look, Nashville is the exact same, my friend. How you
Mm-hmm.
doing?
I'm doing well. It has just finished snowing after saying it wasn't going to snow for the last 5 hours. It snowed all morning. And now the sun has come out and it's cold after it was 77 degrees on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Not
So,
surprised.
Sounds like here.
so
No surprise. No surprise whatsoever.
welcome to our new world of global warming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And and speaking of no surprises, how about the Panthers in New Orleans?
Did they play yesterday? Were they on the field?
I don't know where to begin with
Well,
that one
I'll say
because
this: their offensive line didn't make it. They
nope.
didn't make it on the plane. I'll
No,
say
they
that.
did. I don't think they made it on the plane all
Their defense
year.
didn't make it. Nobody made it. They're a disaster. They're
Mm-hmm.
an absolute disaster. They just need. I forget blowing it up. They just need to just bring in a whole new team.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
They do. They need to. Gentlemen, what have I often said about the Panthers the last 2 years? Given who's in charge, given who is running the team, and given the fact that we, quote, surprisingly see David Tepper not being, quote unquote, pleased with Matt Rule's contract, you should have pushed the
signed off on it.
you should have pushed the plunger on this 2 years ago.
You may not be pleased and satisfied, but you
But you went
signed off
ahead
on
and
it.
signed off on it.
You said your GM was like, "Okay, good move, cool." You rubber stamped it. So why are you griping?
Well, again, I've been saying he's the problem since the start,
Mm-hmm.
and he was all about himself, and he wanted to be like Jerry Jones. And as much as I hate Jerry Jones, at least he's had a little success.
Yeah.
David Tepper's
Yeah.
done nothing.
He's done not a damn thing.
You're
Nothing.
right.
Nothing. Nothing.
And as that story stated, let your football team run the football program. He knows nothing about football. He's a hedge fund manager. What does he know about football?
What's he doing in charge of a football team? What's
I
he
mean, if you
doing
want
in
to start
charge
on
of
the
it?
team, that's fine. But
Mhm.
let your football team run the operation. And that holds true for any owner of any sport.
Oh yeah,
Let your
yeah.
people run it.
But he's all about himself, like you said, Jay, and he won't let his team run it. He won't let the guys in charge of football ops be in charge of football ops.
And that's
Big
exactly
problem.
why they are an absolute dumpster fire right now.
Mm-hmm. Them, the Chicago Bears, a couple of other
And
teams
they
I can
let-
think of. I mean,
And they had a disaster on their hands early in the season and made it even worse by signing Cam Newton.
much worse.
Much worse.
Worse.
There
Because
was no reason whatsoever to sign him, despite the fact that 8 million apologists thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
yeah, a few
Oh,
apologists
speaking
we
of-
both know. Jay, a few apologists we both know personally.
We
No,
do
and
indeed.
And speaking of Cam Newton, did he make it on the plane? Because I didn't see him in the game.
Oh my goodness! The little bit I saw him yesterday on the field, I was like, seriously, dude, really?
Hang it up. Hang it up.
Well, I don't understand it. I like him as a man. You know, I don't have any issue with him there.
Right.
My issue with him is he has tried to parlay how he was in 2010 in Auburn and translate that to where he is now, and it has, with varying degrees, been a colossal failure.
It has.
Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, I'm not. Obviously, he's not a criminal. I don't think he's the worst guy in the world, but I do have some
Right.
issues with how he portrays himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, coming into every press conference with a different outfit and different style, and the stupid Superman routine. And,
Well, just
I mean,
what
it's-
happened to the shirt and tie that you would wear at a
Exactly.
press conference? What's
well,
happened to that?
well, I don't even care if he wears a polo shirt and slacks. I don't
Mhm.
care. But to
I
show
don't
up
either.
every day with something different, it's all about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
And it's
well,
been
there
all
you go.
about himself since his days at Auburn.
There
It's
you go.
been all about himself since his days at Auburn. And
And he
truth
he
be
comes
told,
off as a front runner
Yep.
because of that.
and truth be told, from me, and I get questions about this all the time, even to present day, I was never impressed with Cam Newton. And the one
wasn't.
word that escapes me the one word that escapes a lot of people, I beg your pardon, about Cam Newton and why I have never been impressed with him is consistency.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well,
no,
this goes back to the one really great year he had, and then
Mm-hmm.
he got completely shut down in the Super Bowl, and it has
Yeah, he
not been
did.
the same since.
Yes.
well,
Jay, how many
well,
times
he's
have we said this on this show? Cole, how many times have I said it to you on and off the air? Cam Newton hasn't been right since Super Bowl 50.
Not even
Period.
close.
I'll push that date 7 months later. I don't think
The
he's been right
rematch.
since that very first game when they went to Mile High and the Broncos
Oh
had their
man, you're
way
so
with him.
right. Yes, absolutely.
And Cam
He got
got
hammered that night.
obliterated that night. He got
Hammered that
obliterated.
night.
Trying to use his legs, and the Broncos they were ready for him in Santa Clara. They were ready for him 7 months later in Denver.
Yeah.
They were ready.
Yeah.
They were ready for him. And since that game, and Cole, you said something very, very well in comparing a couple of other games. The Broncos laid the blueprint, and what a game to
Absolutely.
lay
They
the
did.
blueprint in the Super Bowl.
They did.
Since those two games against Denver, Cam Newton has not been right. He has not been himself, and he has not been the best, let alone the number one option at quarterback.
And I also think that that same Super Bowl, his true colors showed through when after the
Yeah.
game he acted
In the
like a little
post game,
child.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Acted
the
like a
post-game,
little
yes.
child. You cannot do that when you're the so-called face of the organization.
Franchise.
You have to stand there like a man and answer questions, no matter how hard they may be.
You can't just
Yeah.
walk off.
You just can't do
Or-
that, or
Or
sit
how hard
there
the
like a
moment is
little
for you,
baby.
yeah. Or how hard the moment is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean,
It's hard on everybody.
I
Yes,
mean,
exactly.
we've seen quarterback press conferences, losing Super Bowl quarterback press conferences handled a lot better than what Cam Newton did after Super Bowl
Yeah.
50. You're not if you're the supposed face of the team, the organization, and you're the supposed leader of the team. And yes, I purposely put the word "supposed" on all of that. You don't just get to walk off from a Super Bowl press conference when you had no confidence in that game in the first place. And Denver
Show me a good-
exposed the fact that Cam Newton had no confidence whatsoever in any play that he ran in the Super Bowl and in the game 7 months later in Denver. The one thing that was exposed about Cam, if he's riding high and if he's playing well, then the Superman pose and everything, you'll be all right with it, and so are your teammates. Super Bowl 50
Right.
and the opening game afterwards in the rematch, there was no confidence in Cam Newton, there was no direction with Cam Newton, and there was certainly no kind of leadership with Cam Newton. Period.
No,
Well-
it has not been since then. Well, really,
Well-
honestly, other than the one great year he had, and he did have a good year that season, but he has. I mean, it's been 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cam, you said that there ain't 32 quarterbacks better than you. Well, yesterday you got a chance to sit on the bench and realize there are.
Mm-hmm. More than 32.
They're
If
way
you
And
think
there
about
are
some of
actually
the,
more.
if you think
I
about
know
some
I've
of the
said this to
backups,
you guys a million times.
And-
It is the worst coach position in football, but
It
he's not
is.
anywhere close to being one of the best 32 quarterbacks in football.
I
Not even
mean,
close.
the
It's not even
worst
close.
coach. It's the
Not even
worst
close.
coach position. It's the worst coach position in football. But for Cam to say there ain't 32 quarterbacks better than me, while he was in New England, being benched on his way to being cut after a rookie is teaching him the playbook, the same
That could
playbook
be.
that he should have grasped the year prior when he was named the starter and was supposed to take New England back to the promised land after the greatest quarterback in franchise history walked off and down to Tampa, and a rookie was teaching him the playbook that he didn't grasp the year prior?
No.
Big
That to
problem.
me-
What does this say to
That's-
you guys? What does this say to you guys that the Panthers are clearly a dumpster fire? They have
Mhm.
no
Right.
offensive direction whatsoever.
None.
And you could probably argue as crappy as their other two quarterbacks are, that Cam Newton is probably their third best quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
Sam
argue
Darnold
it
and P.J.
and be
Walker aren't any good.
you can argue it and you'd be correct because basically you're right. That offense is Christian McCaffrey or bust.
Well, again, they're going to have to blow this up and just probably cut bait with him after the offseason.
And that's unfortunate, but you're right.
And
That's
I know it's going to kill their salary cap. They're just going to have to do it.
They have to put they have to push the plunger and start over.
They need another quarterback. They need an offensive line. They need obviously I've been saying this forever. They need better receivers.
Because Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore aren't it.
Badly.
Mm-hmm. They need two tight ends because the Panthers were successful. The Panthers were successful when they were able to do two things: run the ball, utilize the tight end.
Well, why did they trade Dan Arnold at the trading deadline? Why? I mean, what was the point?
I don't see a point.
And I know Dan Arnold's not the best tight end in the world, but he's better than what they have now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fun. It's funny, man. Yesterday's game, just yesterday's game alone, has proven all of your points that you've said this year about the Panthers, Jay, correct.
Yep.
Every bit of it. The fact that they are aggressive as far as a quarterback, the fact they don't have a reliable number one target for wide receiver, the fact, like you said, they traded away a tight end that actually would help their team now, but they don't have a good requisite piece to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
And the offensive line is a dumpster fire because they allowed 7 sacks. So
they need a true running back. They don't need a hybrid running back.
They need a bruiser. They need a true running back. You can fashion Christian McCaffrey into that of a jackknife, but he's not a true jackknife running back. One, because he can't stay on the field. Secondly, when you need him in key situations, he's not around because he's not on the field. Thirdly, you need to get a bruiser. And Chuba Hubbard is not their best option he's
a good backup. He's not a starting runner.
Right. He's not a starter. You need a starter. You need a running back that can be a starter for you. And Hubbard's not it. It's McCaffrey or bust.
And it sounds like they're going to keep Matt Rule. He's going to make up because of this awful contract they gave him.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do if he stays next year, which it looks like they are? They're going to be even worse.
They're going
to.
It just looks, just for me, and I've got no association with the Panthers whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, he just looks utterly confused on the sidelines.
I thought it was just me. I thought it was
he
just
does. Me. No, it's not just you. I saw that too. When you see shots of Matt Rule, you see the look of a deer in headlights.
It really does.
You see the look of a deer in headlights. And he should have stayed at Baylor. Because with Baylor, you're dealing with kids. And this comparison has been made from college coaches trying to transition into NFL coaches. To say it's not the same would be a horrid understatement, but go back and look at some footage, and Jay, I know you have, Cole, I know you have, as have I. Go back and look at some footage, folks, of Matt Rule when they would put the camera on him. When they would put the camera on Matt Rule, he looks like a deer in headlights.
He does. He really looked like it yesterday, that is for sure.
He did yesterday. Led that game for most of it, and then as soon as the Saints took the lead on their fourth field goal,
that was it.
That was the game. And then, the game was when they missed a 47-yard field goal, wide right, to get the lead back. And their defense, for a time, was playing lights out and keeping them off the scoreboard. But
what does it say you can't score against the Saints? Saints can't score at all now, and then you lose to them. I scored 10 points or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
10 points. 10 points. And as far as the Saints go, they see Matt Ryan to close the year.
Right.
And the Panthers get to see the Antonio Brown
less
Bucks again next week.
I'm holding Antonio Brown story until tomorrow because I want to do some more research on it.
You might
and
need
I know
a whole show for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You may need a whole show for that.
yeah. I may need a
I've
full
never in
hundred.
my life seen anything
I've
like
never
that in
seen
my
that either.
all my years.
I may need a full. We may need a full 120 minutes. It'll be more than one segment. I'll tell you that when we discuss
Oh
Antonio Brown.
my
So I'm going to
gosh.
hold that until tomorrow, and there are going to be several emails sent with that. Uh, but
I don't know how anybody can defend what he did.
nope.
Duh.
I sure as hell can't.
I most certainly can't either.
I dare anybody to defend what he did
I do
yesterday.
too.
You know what?
I
You,
will
you know
take you
what,
up on
Jay?
that dare too.
You know what, Jay? You and I know a couple people that will.
Oh, I'm sure. And
You and I, you and I
sound
know a
like
couple people
Le'Veon
that
Bell, of
will.
course, defended what he did. Of
And,
course.
and it's the same. It's the same couple people that will defend Cam Newton.
Oh yeah.
It's the same couple people you and I know that will defend Cam Newton.
Wow.
Friday, Mick Mixon. I'm going to try to get Mick Mixon on Friday because Sunday is his final game as the voice of the Carolina Panthers. I also try to get Matt Taylor from the Colts on the show as well. There's quite a few things I got lined up. But Jay Spivey joins me every Monday to talk sports. And, man, it's a thrill and honor and a pleasure to have you as a big part of the show. I really appreciate you.
That's very nice of you. Thank you both. It's been so nice, and it's great to have a start a new year with both of you.
All right. Thanks a lot,
Likewise,
Jay.
Jay.
Appreciate it.
All right, take
Have a
care.
good day, bro.
You too. Thank you.
Can't do better than that.
No.
Can't do
No.
better than that, and
No.
and thank you Jay Spivey for those for those compliments because since I have had him on the show beginning in 2020, he has been a huge part of the show. And what I love about having Jay and the other insiders that I do have on, and yes, they are insiders. I will get arguments and comments to the contrary, but I don't care what they think. I love having the people on that I have on because they tell the truth. Damn it.
Yeah. That's the thing. When someone is intrinsically associated with the team, that's what you want. You don't necessarily want. I mean, in the Panthers case, I mean, this team is 5-11. You don't want to have. You don't want to have that insight into the Panthers just give you all rosy colored perspectives about the team
Right.
when you're looking at the games yourself, you're looking at the record, you're saying, okay, things can't be looking good. And then there's the David Tepper statement about his displeasure of the contract Matt Rule signed. You see all that stuff, and you wouldn't want your
And you
insider to say,
still
well, it's 5-11, but it's things are going to be good around the corner. We have this coming up. We're looking at this prospect and that. And even though we only lost 18-10 to the Saints,
mm-hmm.
I mean, the offense almost came around.
Mm-hmm.
They just needed one or two extra plays. You don't want that from your side. You wanted to say, look, I don't know what that team was out there. They're a dumpster fire. That's what I appreciate about Jay.
That's what I appreciate also about Mick Mixon, the longtime voice of the Panthers, who will officially retire after Sunday's game. I've thrown tough questions at Mick, and Mick has been honest with me. Mick has been honest on this program, and I love it. Same with Matt Taylor of the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
All right? It is not leading. It is not, lobbing a question. This is me asking the questions no one else would have the balls to ask.
Right.
Okay?
And
this is
and
what I
they're
do.
yeah.
This is what we do. This
Yeah.
is what we do.
And they're proven to solidify the fact that they know that you're not asking the question to down the teams that they either support or they work for, but they know that it's coming. It's a journalistic question. It's coming from a source that's wanting to know inside what is the temperature of whatever team.
Mm-hmm.
And kudos to them by recognizing that and not taking it as, oh yeah, you're doing hit pieces on this team.
Exactly.
You're attacking this team.
Exactly.
No,
we're not doing listen, we're not doing hit pieces. We never do. I know many who do. I know many. You and I work in the business. Mm-hmm. We know many who do. We're not one of them. We just throw the question out there that needed to be asked. That needs to be asked. A couple notes before we get out of here. Congratulations to Becky Hammond.
Oh
WNBA head
yes,
coach of the Las Vegas
yes.
Aces.
I'm so
And
happy she now has a head coaching job. I'm
she is a
happy.
head coaching position. And it's a 5-year deal, and um, I'm so excited to see what she does with the Aces. I'm so excited to see the WNBA season this coming season, 2022, as the Sky
Mhm.
look to defend their world championship and the changes made there. Again, I gave a shout to one of my homegirls, Candace Parker, Naperville Central grad, Tennessee grad, who was named the female athlete of the year for the second time in her career. And I'm getting a lot of bricks in place to cover the WNBA this year with Inscriber Magazine, with Sideline Sports, with my own organization, End Zone Sports Network, Cole Sports. We're planning so much with with the WNBA and with women's
Yeah,
sports, and that
yeah.
is the trick I'm going to throw at a lot of people. You know, my wife made the suggestions. Why don't you lean your coverage towards more women's sports? So I am. I'm taking that advice and I'm running with it.
That's awesome.
And a note that I didn't want to mention, but I'm going to save it till tomorrow because I know Cole will accompany this with an email.
Mm.
Apparently, as I look at this monitor here off my screen,
Hmm.
apparently Kyrie Irving is going to play on Wednesday.
Oh, it must be a road game. Okay, well, I'll save that.
Save that one.
All right, all right. Well,
Hold on to that one.
well, yeah. But before you sign off, I want to wish a very special person in my life a happy birthday. Dad, love you, my man. You're one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever met in my entire life, and that will always go no matter where I go in life. So I know this is number 85 for you. So happy birthday to
Love
you.
you, Pop. Love you,
Yeah.
Pops. Keep on living, and keep on bringing those nuggets of wisdom. Love it.
The dude is 85 and still looks like he's 45. I mean, he's awesome.
That's
He's
gonna be me
awesome.
in 40 years, especially when I get
Hmm.
this tumor out of me.
Yeah.
The week of February 8th, at least the 7th, 8th, and the 9th, I will not be on air because we're back down in Durham because there's a possibility not only of surgery to extract this tumor, but a little bit of radiation as well to try to shrink it. Because
Cool. Cool.
they're getting more aggressive with it. I haven't done that much chemo this trip, but at the same time, my doctor has made some concessions for me at work, and I'm also happy to say I'm over COVID. I'm done. I kicked it in the
Yes.
ass.
Awesome. Awesome. Look at that.
My
Well,
wife has done the same. She's just about over it. The cough is lingering, but
well, you
you know
put the foot to
something?
COVID. Hmm.
We flipped the finger to COVID.
That's right. You put the foot and COVID behind
Mm-hmm.
cancer. Your turn's next, my man.
Your cancer, pancreatic cancer, you're next. You're next.
Hmm.
And you know there are people that will say, I wish you nothing but healing. Do I appreciate that? Yes, I do. But as well as I, there are people that will say that with a tinge of sarcasm next to it.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
people that say it with a tinge of sarcasm next to it. Went through that
Hmm.
a couple of weeks ago. All I did was smile and wave them on.
Beautiful.
All I did was smile and wave and wave them on. Let me thank
Beautiful.
Eric Wilson for coming on for hour
Yeah.
one. Jay
Love that brother
Spivey,
too.
hour two. Megan Price will join me Thursdays to talk all things NBA. And brother, do we have a lot to cover. Tomorrow on the
Yes, we do.
program, Antonio Brown, what the hell were you thinking?
Oh Lord.
I I don't I don't think 120 minutes will cover it.
I went to a football game and a strip tease
And it's
happened.
I went to a football game and a mental attack striptease broke out.
Oh
And
my.
when you know it happened in New York.
Yes, it happened in New York.
It happened in the. There are so many questions to go around, but we're gonna get out of here for now, man. I shudder to think, and I'm not writing an outline tomorrow. In fact, I've gotten
Oh.
away from writing an outline because
Oh.
we wind up flying through 120 minutes anyway.
Oh, so you doing it like battle rappers? You going off the top?
I'm
Okay.
going off the top of the dome, which is what I did today. I do not have a. I promise you guys, y'all have seen in the past, you included Cole, where I would have a notebook off to the side or
Mm-hmm.
a tablet or something, and I'd have a pen in my hand. I don't. Not today.
Mm.
Not today. And when I get more equipment, when we get more equipment, I promise I'm going to take some. I'm going to take fans' phone calls because many have asked me about it. I put it out there, and people say, sure, I'll call in." And
Mm-hmm.
there will be an expansion to the show, but not until the fall. Because I want to be sure I get through this, I get through the radiation, I get
Yeah.
through everything, and I get completely healthy. But by the fall, I'm going to be busier than ever
Yeah.
because I miss doing play-by-play.
Oh, I know you do.
I
I
miss
I,
doing play-by-play, man.
I don't even have to ask you that. You notice I have not asked you that question
Mm-hmm.
because I
You
know
and my
you
wife
do.
are the only two that haven't.
Mm-hmm. I know you do.
And I'm on a group. I'm in a group on Facebook, play-by-play announcers. I'm part of the Sports Cancers Talent Agency of America. I'm getting that profile together, and I probably won't put that together until after I get back from Durham because I want to be sure things are rolling along with the show and with End Zone Sports and all kinds of good stuff. But tomorrow we'll talk Antonio Brown. We'll talk the end of the Browns season as they face the Pittsburgh Steelers. More NBA notes, more college basketball notes, and I have Scoop Miller coming on Wednesday to talk college basketball, and I damn near celebrated an upset yesterday. But damn you, Michigan State. Ugh. They played my Northwestern Wildcats, and then you had them for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where the talent lies. But I will
Right.
say they keep playing like that, they'll sneak into the tournament again.
Yeah.
They'll sneak into the tournament again, and that's going to be fun.
That's right.
That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
fun. All right, being told to wrap it up. Dr. K is giving me the signal, so let's get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow when we talk Antonio Brown, more football, and a bowl game for the ages that trumps whatever Georgia and Alabama, whatever they do next Monday in Indianapolis. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.